Tales from the Interwebs, a Cautionary Collection. Chapter 1. The TikTok Tragedy. Once there was a TikTok challenge for those who had wondrous balance, stacking up crates higher than 8, then climbing up the tall palace. Daring Danny loved online trends. To all their whims his will would bend. His milk he drank, his crates he banked, till he'd enough to build and ascend. Up he climbed right to the top, when suddenly he heard a pop. 4,000,000 gasped as they watched him crash, fallen dead with a final plop. Edgy and the Bubble. There once was a young boy who was a total daredevil. He was always on the edge of serious injury, so his nickname was Edgy. Sometimes Edgy would fall and hurt himself, but seldom did he cry, and it was never very serious. Still, he frightened his mother always. Soon Edgy would be going to school, and his mother was so worried that he would be in more danger than ever that she decided to protect him with bubble wrap. She made a suit of it, and when it was done, she blew the whole thing up with her hairdryer so that it puffed around him like a balloon. "There! That should keep you safe," said his mother. Edgy cried. The suit was so puffy that he could not climb or run or even use his fork. "Hush," his mother said as she fed him breakfast. "It's for your own good. You'll see. You won't get a scratch." Indeed, all day long he tripped and he fell, but he bounced back up without a single owie. On his first day of school, his mother blew some extra air into Edgy's suit so that he was more bulbous than ever. Edgy got wedged in the door frame, and it took his mother 3 tries to shove him out. She ushered him to the end of the drive to await the bus, when suddenly a huge gust of wind swept him up, and he floated like a balloon into the clouds until he was nothing but a tiny speck in his mother's eye, and was never seen again. Ellie and the eBay Magic. Once there was a girl named Ellie who wanted to do real magic. Everyone told her it was only pretend, but she was a true believer. She wished for magic as hard as she could on all her birthdays, and she went all over the internet hoping to unlock the secret to getting powers. Soon enough, Ellie had discerned from fairy tales and online forums that unicorns were the source of real magic, and if she got hold of one of their horns, she would absorb its power. It took a while, but finally she found an ancient wise man on eBay who sold her the horn. It took all the money in her piggy bank. On the day the horn arrived, Ellie was ready. It was a bit odd looking, not so sparkly pink and gold as the picture. Actually, it looked like a dog turd. But Ellie would not be discouraged. She crushed the horn up with sugar, mixed in some water, and choked it down. She could feel the change right away. Her new powers burned and bubbled inside her, and she held out her wand in anticipation. The blast that came wasn't at all what she'd expected. Ellie's insides churned painfully, and she spewed from both ends. Her skin broke out in hives, and hair began to fall from her head. Ellie could hear her mom's voice in the background trying to use the wand, but she had the words all wrong. She kept saying words like anaphylaxis instead of abracadabra. Soon the ambulance came and rushed Ellie off to the hospital. It took her weeks to get better. They never did figure out what she ate, but it sure wasn't magic. The Greedy Gamer. Little Anthony was always online, greedily gaming with all of his time. He loved games like Roblox and Fortnite. He played all day and he played all night, hour after hour, and he never took a shower. "You're full of dirt," said his mom. "Turn that off and change your shirt." Anthony just grinned and said, "Aw, shucks. I would if you got me more Robux." Every day it was the same. He'd only work if it helped him play the game. His mother's purse went down and down. She spent all her coin to keep him sound. Soon she sold the TV and couch so Anthony could veg and slouch. Next to go were the dishes and rugs. Still Anthony sat and played like a slug. Anthony gamed like a glutinous git while his mom searched a house with nothing in it. She sat on the floor and began to brood. "What have I done? We've no money for food." One day Anthony's tummy rumbled and grinded like gears. But all his cries for snacks fell on deaf ears. So downstairs he went with a dizzy head and found his mother starved and dead. Remember, kids, when you want some fun, better to find it outside in the sun. The Stranger and the Screamer. Jimmy was a screamer. Each and every time something didn't go his way, he would scream and scream so loud the whole neighborhood could hear him. "You don't like our rules, you can go find some new parents," his father would say. One night Jimmy decided that he wanted ice cream for dinner, but his parents said he had to eat his pasta first. "No!" screamed Jimmy. Up in his room he screamed for hours and finally decided to find some new parents on the internet. He met a very nice lady on a chat forum who said if he came to live with her, he could always pick his own meal and do whatever he wanted. So off he went. Jimmy's parents searched everywhere in the morning, and they cried when they realized he had run away. They called the police for help, but no one could find their son. So all they could do was sit by the phone and wait. So they ordered sushi and watched grown-up shows that Jimmy hated, and they waited. Meanwhile, Jimmy was not having much fun. The nice lady he'd gone to live with turned out to be a nasty troll in disguise. It kidnapped children and sent ransom demands to their parents. Jimmy and the other kids were in a cold, wet basement with no TV and nothing to eat but kale and plain porridge. Jimmy's parents got the kidnappers' call while they were sipping wine and practicing the tango.
"Give me $1,000 if you want your boy back,"
said the troll.
"Of course," said Jimmy's father. "But it is a Friday evening after all, so we'll have to wait until Monday to go to the bank. In fact, we'll give you a little extra to babysit over the weekend. Ta-ta!"
On Saturday afternoon, Jimmy's parents were sitting around in their underwear eating expensive brownies and discussing philosophy when they heard a knock at the door.
"Bother, who could that be?"
said his mother. They dressed and headed outside. Jimmy was on the porch with a note.
He won't eat his vegetables and he never stops screaming. Here's $500. Don't ever send him back,
it said. Well, did you have fun with the babysitter? Asked Jimmy's mother. He sniffled a little. No, I'm ready to eat my pasta now. Wonderful, said his mother. After that day, Jimmy became a quieter boy, but his parents used the money to build a soundproof box in the basement with a big lock on it, just in case. And that concludes Chapter 1. Chapter 2 will be along to you shortly. Thanks.